In July 2024, Bangladesh witnessed the beginning of a powerful student movement that shook the nation. What started as a demand for educational and employment reform soon grew into a larger struggle against government policies and authority. A Supreme Court ruling reinstated a 30% quota in government jobs for the descendants of freedom fighters. Students felt this quota unfairly limited opportunities for the general population. Mid-July saw the protests escalate. Students from universities across Bangladesh united, leading to widespread demonstrations. The situation quickly turned violent, with clashes between students and security forces resulting in numerous casualties. The government responded with a heavy hand, imposing curfews, shutting down internet access, and deploying the military. These measures only fueled the students' resolve and drew sharp criticism both domestically and internationally. Things got even worse on July 16th, when the tragic death of popular student leader Abu Said added fuel to the fire. His death intensified the protests and deepened the students' determination. Nahid Iqbal, leader of the anti-quota protests, said,
"The government has killed so many people in a day that we cannot join any discussions in the current circumstances."
Another student, Alim Khan, said,
"The Prime Minister is asking for an end to the violence with one hand whilst, with the other hand, attacking students using pro-ruling party groups and the police."
The impact of the situation went global. According to the state-run WAM news agency, 3 of the protesters received life sentences for inciting riots in several streets across the UAE. Meanwhile, 53 others were sentenced to 10 years in prison, and 1 individual received an 11-year sentence. International organizations and foreign governments began to voice concerns over the human rights violations occurring in Bangladesh. The situation became a focal point for discussions on freedom, democracy, and governance in the country. Despite the government's attempts to quell the unrest, the protests continued to grow. Students, supported by various sections of society, demanded not just the abolition of the quota system, but also broader reforms in governance. But something really unexpected happened in Bangladesh on 5 August 2024. The situation took a dramatic turn when Bangladesh's Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina resigned and fled Bangladesh after anti-government protests left hundreds dead. Reports indicate she has landed in India, with speculation about her possible travel to London. Huge crowds stormed Hasina's official residence in Dhaka, resulting in looting and widespread disorder in the capital. President of Bangladesh ordered the release of jailed former Prime Minister Khaleda Zia and all students detained during the recent protests against the government's quota system for jobs. On Monday, police and government buildings were attacked and set on fire. Protesters even attempted to tear down a statue of Hasina's father and the country's independence leader. The US commended the Bangladeshi army for its restraint and called for the formation of an interim government. The EU urged an orderly and peaceful transition towards a democratically elected government. The bloodshed marks some of the worst violence Bangladesh has seen since its founding in 1971. What began as student protests in July over job quotas transformed into a nationwide demand for Hasina's resignation after 15 years in power. The whole nation went through a lot of struggle, and now Bangladesh has a chance to rewrite its history. The real victory will be when everybody in Bangladesh benefits from this, and a government that works for all, and not just for a single community.